The last time you came back from a walk, did your knees feel a little off? You figured you weren't walking enough. You figured a little more walking would fix it. You were wrong. According to CDC data, more than 36,000 adults over 65 die from falls every year. Not car accidents. Not disease. Falls. Fall-related deaths have surged more than 50% over the past decade. In 2022 alone, treating fall injuries in older adults cost $80 billion. What exercise were most of these people doing? They walked 10,000 steps a day. For years. Then one day they fell. Here's why. Walking does exactly one thing: grind your knees down to bone on bone. It doesn't train balance. It doesn't train your upper body. It doesn't train your core. And those three things, they're what actually determine whether you can still stand up after 60. The global walking fitness and wearable device market is worth $300 billion a year. Every time you believe walking is enough, everyone in that chain gets paid. Today, I'm giving you 5 exercises validated by orthopedic and vascular science. They rebuild muscle, protect joints, and cut fracture risk by over 40%. Number 2 on this list has already been adopted as a standard post-surgical recovery protocol by rehabilitation hospitals across Japan, with recovery speeds 40% faster than traditional physical therapy. Stay until the end. 2021. Ohio. A retired teacher named Margaret, 68 years old. Her doctor told her walk every day. It's good for your joints. She set her alarm for 6 a.m. every morning. Walked an hour in the park, rain or shine, for years straight. Then her knees started hurting. She figured she wasn't walking enough, so she bumped her steps from 7,000 up to 10,000. 6 months later, she sat down in my colleague's clinic. The MRI results showed her knee cartilage had worn down to 1/3 of its normal thickness. Almost no cushioning left between the bones. She asked the doctor, "I've been walking every single day. How did this happen?" The doctor paused for a few seconds, and said, "The way you were walking for someone over 60 is chronic damage." Margaret cried, not from pain, because she felt she had been lied to for full years. But here's what she didn't know. It wasn't her doctor who deceived her. The one that lied to her was a Japanese advertisement from 60 years ago. Where did 10,000 steps come from? An ad. 1964. The Tokyo Olympics had just ended. Japan was gripped by a fitness craze. A company called Yamasa introduced the world's first commercial pedometer. They called it the man-po-K, the 10,000 step meter. That number wasn't calculated by scientists. It was chosen because the Japanese character for 10,000 looks like a person walking and sounded lucky. Memorable. Great for sales. A 1965 Japanese had campaigned, "How many steps you walk today?" So what does the science actually say? In 2019, Harvard's Dr. Min Lee published a landmark study in jail. Older women who walk just 4,400 steps a day already had significantly lower mortality than those walking 2,700. Beyond 7,500 steps, the added health benefit flatlines. In 1966, Nike co-founder Bill Borman and sports medicine specialist W.E. Harrisco authored a book called Jogging. It ignited a running craze across America. The sneaker industry took off. By the 1980s, running injuries were everywhere. The industry needed something gentler to keep sales alive. So walking got rebranded safe, easy. Anyone can do it. The business logic was perfect. Not walking enough? Buy better shoes. Still not healthy? Get more checkups. Joints gone? Time for surgery and drugs. Every step of that chain, someone gets paid. And the people over 60 who most needed the truth were always the last ones told. Now you know where 10,000 steps came from. But knowing that alone isn't enough. You need to understand something more important: what has already changed in your body after 60 that turned walking from something helpful into something harmful. Once you understand that, you'll know exactly why these 5 exercises work and walking doesn't. Have you ever seen an old rubber band that's been sitting in a drawer for years? Fresh out of the pack, elastic, stretchy, nearly unbreakable. 5 years later, brittle, stiff. One tug and it snaps. That is your joint cartilage after 60. Cartilage has no blood supply. It cannot repair itself. Once it's gone permanently. From age 50 to 80, the quadriceps, the muscle at the front of your thigh, can lose up to 40% of its mass without targeted training. This is the core muscle that lets you stand up, sit down, climb stairs. When it atrophies, your knees absorb more direct impact. Every step while walking loads an unprotected joint with 1.5 to 3 times your body weight. And here's something even fewer people know. After 60, your balance system starts to fail. The vestibular system in your inner ear senses your body's position in space. Research shows this system begins significant deterioration at age 60. This is why so many older adults mid-minus strides suddenly miss a step. It's not the ground. The signals reaching your brain have already started to distort, and walking on a body whose balance system is already breaking down is a repetitive motion that has never once specifically trained to balance. Now you get it. It's not that you were walking wrong. It's that walking alone isn't enough. I'm going to count down from number 5. Each exercise directly targets the problems you just heard about. The most important one comes last because it does something none of the others can. But before we start, for safety rules you need to hear first. Before you start, a few things that must be said. 1. If you have heart disease, severe arthritis, or recent surgery, talk to your doctor before starting anything new. Always within reach of support. 3. Build gradually. 3 reps today. 5 next week. 10 next month. For joint pain means stop immediately. Muscle soreness is normal. Joint pain is not. Keep your phone within reach. That's it. Now let's get into it. Number 5 wall push minus ups. You probably think push minus ups are for soldiers and 20-year-olds. Wrong. Multiple studies from the American College of Sports Medicine show older adults in resistance training groups showed significantly greater upper body functional strength gains than walking-only groups. Walking doesn't reach your upper body. That's scientific consensus. Here's how. Stand at arm's length from a wall. Both hands flat on the wall, shoulder width and shoulder height. Lean in until your nose nearly touches the wall. Push back. Keep a straight line from head to feet. Core tight. Start at 10. If you feel joint pain instead of muscle burn, stop immediately and step closer to the wall. As you get stronger, step farther back and increase the angle. Target 10 to 15 reps to sets per day. Upper body covered. But there's one movement you repeat dozens of times every day without ever specifically training it, and it determines whether you can live independently. Standing up from a chair. Number for chair squats. How many times a day do you stand up from a chair, from a toilet, from a car? The day you can't stand up on your own, your independent life is over. The muscle that lifts you out of a chair, the quadriceps, is one of the fastest declining muscle groups in the entire body. That's why so many older adults can't get off a low sofa or toilet seat. It's not getting old. The muscle is simply gone. Sit at the front edge of a sturdy chair. Feet hip width apart, toes slightly turned out. Arms crossed over your chest. Don't push off with your hands. Doctor through your heels to stand. Chest up. Spine neutral. Then this is the key. Take 3 to 4 full seconds to lower yourself back down. Don't drop. Control the descent. Robert, 71, couldn't get out of his recliner on his own. 3 months of chair squats later, he can sit on the floor and play with his grandchildren. Target 8 to 12 reps to sets per day. There is a test where a doctor takes just 10 seconds and can predict whether you'll be alive 7 years from now. The accuracy shocked the entire medical community. The next exercise. It is that test. Number 3 single leg stand. In 2022, a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found after age 70, if you can stand on one leg for 10 seconds, your all-cause mortality over the next 7 years drops by 50%. You read that right. Whether you can stand on one leg for 10 seconds predicts how long you will live. Why? Single leg standing simultaneously challenges through systems: the vestibular system in your inner rear, your visual system for spatial orientation, and your proprioceptive system, how your muscles and joints sense your body's position. All 3 decline with age, but all 3 can be recalibrated with regular training. Here's how. Stand near a kitchen counter or the back of a sturdy chair. Lift 1 foot 1 inch off the ground. Hold 10 seconds. Switch. Progressions: close your eyes, turn your head side to side, stand on a folded towel. Each progression challenges your balance in a completely new way. This isn't repetition. This is giving your brain a new problem to solve every single time. Dorothy, 74, was afraid to leave the house after a fall. After 6 weeks of balance training, she now leads hiking groups. Target 10 to 30 seconds per leg, 3 sets per day. Let me ask you something. Think of the oldest person you know. Do they have a slight hunch? That's not a natural consequence of aging. That's a medical condition, and it raises your mortality risk by 44%. Number 2 resistance bend rows. You've seen them. Older adults walking down the street hunched forward. That's not bad posture. That's kyphosis, a medical condition. It compromises breathing, digestion. Walking does almost nothing for these muscles. Walking is a forward motion. Your back muscles need backward pulling force. That's exactly what resistance bend rows deliver. They target the rhomboides, mid-trapezius, and posterior deltoids, the muscles that pull your shoulders back and keep your spine upright. This is also why multiple Japanese rehabilitation hospitals have incorporated resistance bend training into their standard post-surgical recovery protocol for older adults. Safe, measurable, and zero joint impact for bodies that are already fragile. Here's how. Anchor a resistance band at chest height. Our handle works perfectly. Step back until the band is tension. Pull the handles toward your ribcage, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Imagine cracking a walnut between your shoulder blades. Slowly return to start. If you feel shoulder joint pain, step half a foot closer and try again. 12 reps to sets per day. George, 69, could barely stand straight. 2 months of band rows later, people started telling him he looked 10 years younger. The first 4 exercises trained your upper body, legs, balance, and posture, all muscular. But number 1 does something none of them can. At 60, at 70, even at 80, it rewires your brain's neural circuitry. Number 1 Taikai. Harvard Medical School and multiple systematic reviews show older adults who practice Taikai regularly show significantly lower fall rates, outperforming strength training, balance training, and walking combined. But fall prevention is just the surface. At 70, your brain is still growing new neural connections if you practice Taikai. Walking is repetitive. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Every Taikai movement is slightly different. Constant weight shifts, rotations, upper-lower body coordination, forcing your brain to stay fully engaged and adapt continuously. Neuroscience confirms that constant variation triggers neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to generate new connections and pathways at any age. Barbara, 77, started Taikai after 2 falls. 3 years later, not a single fall. She says she moves more gracefully now than she did at 50. No equipment needed. YouTube has dozens of free beginner programs designed specifically for older adults. 15 to 20 minutes per session, 3 times a week. Any fitness level can start today. Research also found older adults who join group Daikai classes show significantly lower rates of depression and cognitive decline than those who practice alone. Movement plus social connection. That's a double shield. Walking isn't wrong. Walking just isn't enough. After 60, your body doesn't need more steps. It needs smarter movement. You know someone who walks 10,000 steps every day thinking that counts as exercise. Send them this video. One message could save them from one fall. This channel does one thing: take what industries hope you never learn and say it in plain English. Next episode hits harder. Subscribe. Don't let the algorithm make that decision for you.